panda, panda, panda. I got broads in Atlanta, just to lean the family. Credit cards in the scammers, hitting the licks in the van.
Hey everybody, how you doing today? This is your favorite critic with no gimmicks, Sammy, the one and only, here again with another review for this time, DC Legends of Tomorrow, Season 3, Episode 9. Okay, so let's get into it. So, in this review, we're gonna talk about Dr. Stein, who's no longer there with us. We're gonna talk about Snart, who came back, although he's not a version of himself. We are also gonna talk about Bebo, the God of War, which was very interesting and funny. We are gonna talk about Jefferson and what we think of his departure, or if he's gonna come back in the future. So without no further ado, guys, let's get to it. So in the last episode, Dr. Stein is now dead. He sort of sacrificed himself, and now he's dead. We saw in this new episode now, Snart, who is back now. I'm glad. I've always liked his character, and I'm glad like he came back to the show because it was one person I did like to see on the show. So he's back, although it's not the same old Snart, but it's a different version of himself. This one, he doesn't commit any crime. He's a bit different, he's one of the good guys. He wasn't one to he wasn't doing any bad things in the past. So that's that. And what I like about this episode is how in the beginning how he was playing therapist to all the members of the all the legends. And although it was a joke like of a bad taste, like a little bit, especially when it comes to Jefferson, who obviously did not enjoy it. And so he tried to try to see if he could get the guys to open about Dr. Stein's death. That was pretty funny how he had the hint puppet, and that was interesting and kind of like lift up the mood of the entire show after Stein's departure. So while they were doing this, a new anachronism showed up, and that was actually Dr. Stein's younger self, who just got teleported, transferred into a different era, and that was the Viking era. To be honest with you, I don't know how. I don't think the show, if I remember correctly, I don't think they explain how that happened, but it simply happened. That how come that was Stein, and so I think I have an idea, but I'm gonna say it afterwards, after I reach to a different points. But for now, I'm gonna say that to me, I think that this point was it was a bit weird that how come they took how come he was the one being an anachronism, and he recently dead. So I think there's a lot of coincidence there. So that didn't really make much sense to me. So technically what happened was it was a young Dr. Stein who was out. It was Christmas time, and he was buying this gift, called Bebo. It was like it was a doll for his daughter, Lily. And as soon as he got the doll, he suddenly got transported to a different era, and he had to run for his life. Unfortunately, he got captured, and the Vikings took the little doll called Bebo, and they took him as a god, and that's what happened. And that created an anachronism who would then change the future of the world if they didn't fix it. And trying to fix everything, the heroes, they went under in a undercover mission to try to recuperate the doll, the little thing. And unfortunately for them, they had Mick tried to steal some booze from Bebo's chamber, and he got caught. And they tried to, burn him alive, just like back in those days, they used to kill you for just about anything. So the legends had to, try to save him, and while they were doing that, out of nowhere, there was a lightning strike in the sky, and Damian Dark appeared with his daughter, and he claimed to be Odin, the ruler of Asgard. And that was funny because he dressed like the people from the Asgardians and everything. So that was kind of interesting how everybody was dressed up and everything. And like I can say that Damian Dark has been preparing a lot of things, because he had like the in the past episode they had the gorilla, forgot his Grodd, I think his name is Grodd. They had like Grodd was about to die and he saved him, and I feel like he has a big plan that we do not know of yet. And I think maybe like probably in the season finale we probably would know exactly what he was planning this entire time, but I think it's gonna be big. So after claiming to be Odin, everybody everybody just kneeled in front of him because they thought he was really a god. And yeah, but eventually the legends eventually bested them, and him and his daughter eventually left. But one thing that happened though that caught my attention is when he was trying to skip time and to go to a different time. At the very last moment he was going to switch up and go to somewhere else. Sarah touched his shoulder, and she herself got transported into a different dimension, and she suddenly heard a voice, and that voice turned to be the voice of Malice. And I think Malice said himself that he will soon be free out of this place that it seemed like he's in prison in this sort of dimension that he is, and he felt like soon enough he will be freed, and he will bring great pain in our world. I think he's actually Damian Dark. He's his pawn, and he's actually working for Malice. Malice is the big whatever he is. I think he might be a demon. Whatever he is. But Damian Dark, in all of his new powers, I think he got it from Malice, and we're gonna find out exactly in the future episode about that. But I feel like this is what we're gonna find out. So on the other side of things, Jefferson, still sad about Dr. Stein's departure, brought back the young Stein back to 1992 to his own timeline, and he gave him a letter, and this letter contained like a loophole that Dr. Stein should only open it back in 2017 that would indicate him exactly what to do to survive, and that would actually help him. But eventually at the end of the episode we found out that Dr. Stein didn't do it. He didn't open it. As a matter of fact, he burned the letter because he felt like, at the time, by 2017, he would have been 67 or 68 or something like that. And, he would have lived his life. And if it was fate for him to die in 2017, then so it shall be. He will eventually die in 2017. And he was at peace with it. And that kind of like made Jefferson sad, but I think he understood at the end, and that was okay. And so what happened exactly at the end is that Jefferson ended up leaving himself. And I felt like I wasn't expecting that myself. I thought like he was gonna just be able to become Firestorm on his own and not need Dr. Stein to become Firestorm anymore. I thought he was gonna be just able to become Firestorm and be just Firestorm would become one person. But I guess that was not the case. I do not know if in the future he will come back as Firestorm, if he will be able to control it all by himself again, or maybe we might never see him again. We do not know. So that to me was a bit surprising. I'm not sure if it's in the comics. I never really read any comics or anything like that, if you guys want to know. So I only follow the shows. So all that you guys see in the show is all that I know. And from my perspective of things, is like I kind of feel that's stupid. If it was me, I probably wouldn't get him off. I probably would just make sure that he mastered how to become Firestorm on his own without needing Dr. Stein. But we'll see exactly what happens in the following episode. Another cool thing that happened in this episode was John Constantine showing up. And I gotta say that John Constantine, when he had his own show, is one of my favorite shows. I love the movie. I love and I love the show. I used to watch it all the time. This was one of my favorite shows to watch. Yeah, it was unfortunate that they discontinued his show, but I was glad to actually see him again. I'm glad that he's like in his universe, and he was able to go. He showed up in Arrow when he actually saved Sarah Lance, because she had to get back her soul. So he helped with that, and now he's back. And this time he's on DC Legends of Tomorrow, and right now he's requesting Sarah Lance's help with some kind of sort of demons who possessed a little girl, but the little girl seems to know Sarah Lance's name. So we're gonna see how that's gonna turn out. I'm not sure if they're gonna try to but continue with his show. I'm not sure if he's gonna have a new show. If that's the case, I would definitely want to watch it, and I think they should do that because it was an interesting show. But let's see exactly what happened in the season in the few episodes to come, to see exactly who's the little girl. Is it the little girl that had died because of him? Because like, I think this is the reason why I think he really was hard on himself, because he was trying to exorcise. I forgot the word. This little girl, this demon inside of this little girl, and he had to summon a bigger, a bigger demon to scare out the smaller demon, and the bigger demon ended up, tearing the little girl apart and then drag her soul to hell. So that happened, and he never forgave himself, and people around him never forgave him for that as well. So let's see exactly what turns out of this situation in the next episode, and hopefully, if this next episode is good, he might have a chance of getting his own show back again online. So this was it for me, and this was it for this episode. And if you guys did enjoy this review, please let me know in the comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next review. Stay tuned. Bye.